What's up, Scotchy? Gerald, Abad, My something, Junior, PG, Chill Trill, J Real. You said marry you. Make sure that ring, BBS. What's up, Anthony? Twin Leah, Hated Beast Mode. I am the Asian Princess. Ayo, so bougie. Who else? Who in here? Barty Brazy, Corey J. Brown. Come on in. What's up, Queen B? I ain't skip over you. I ain't see you. Evolution of Tony. You know these comments be weird. Shaniqua MJ, the Nate Experience. I think that's supposed to be Suede Mocha Queen. Freddie Robb, Melissa Thomas. Who else? I am Trey Charles. I told y'all these comments is weird. It ain't me. I'm reading everyone I see. If I ain't read it, I ain't see it. I'm just going, as they popping up, I'm hitting it. I'm about to talk to y'all. That's what I'm doing, J Real. We about to talk. Chocolate Sensation 98, Right 2, Like a Track Meet, Life of Track Meet. What up? More No Boy. Who else in here? What up, Trapletic? Shaniqua MJ. What up, boo? Cindy. Oh, you made it over from Facebook. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, Kingdom. Ken Thrice. TS Lava Low. Noel, excuse me. Commander. JR. All right. Tender Love Care. One King David. Oh, these briefs give me that Cash App, John. I mean, y'all can send that over. Go ahead, send that over. Simply Fierce, what up? Oh shit, Maddie is on. Oh damn. Oh damn. All right, well, I'm gonna be brief. What up, Cookie? Sir London, Sinja Bob, Cheetah. All right. Let's talk. What's up, JJ London? Cheetah? The Great? You sang? Not quite the story time. No story time. However, I did want to talk to y'all about something in particular. So, who has seen, I'm sure a lot of y'all seen it now, especially if you got Facebook, with Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade's son, her stepchild. This weekend, Gabrielle, what is his name? Zion Wade, I believe. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. And the brother, as well as a few other people, took him to a pride event to celebrate his pride as an LGBT young man. He's 11 years old, okay? He wasn't at no freak shit, no crazy shit. His parents simply took him to an event that was celebrating who he was. When I saw it, it warmed my heart. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was dope. Dwayne Wade wasn't able to make it. However, he did post a picture of them there to his story, and said how he wished he could be there, how proud he was, the pride he had, or whatever. I thought it was great to see, just from the simple fact that you have this athlete, a giant, a basketball player, a black man, that has a son who's LGBT, and it's not treated as a secret or a shame, but it's celebrated. It's celebrated by all parties involved, not just mom accept you, not just dad accept you, but the whole family down to your brother is there to support you. First off, round of applause to them. Major round of applause to them, because that's major. And that type of leadership sets a great example for other people who may have an LGBT child or nephew or niece or whatever it may be, to feel like they have the space to represent themselves and that person in a positive light, and to really feel like it's okay to celebrate that person no matter how young they are. Once, this is the thing that, you know, and this is moving into the subject that strike me interesting. I was seeing people have an issue with his age. He's 11 years old. That's too young. How? That was my question. How? And I wanted to challenge some minds in here. Hopefully I have different people in here right now so that somebody can be challenged that's not just in agreement with me. But when I was 11 years old, I was in puberty. When I was in puberty, my awareness, my sexual awareness was heightened. If I wasn't aware before what I liked, I was certainly aware of what I liked by puberty. You can hardly not get a random erection every 5 seconds, a fucking cough, and my dick is hard, okay? That's what puberty does to a boy. So when people are saying he's 11 years old, he's too young for this, because I read someone shared my post and they put their own, you know, lingo to it, and we're basically saying that he's too young for them to be focusing in on his sexuality, or they're too focusing in on this. Well, he's aware of his sexuality at 11. He is comfortable to be out about his sexuality at 11, which means that he is undoubtedly, unavoidably going to come into factors at the age of 11 that will try to go against who he is or shame who he is as an individual. So if those factors are in the world around him and they're inescapable, how is it too young to begin to celebrate who he is? To assure him that there is nothing wrong with him, to put him in eyesight and reach of other people that are like him, that he may know he is not the only one. Because I'm sure that many of us watching this video who are a part of the LGBT community remember a time when we felt like we were the only one. I'm the only nigga like this. I'm the only girl like this. And now we look around us and we realize that we're surrounded by people who are just like us, many with different stories, many with more similar stories than us. But there's tons of us. So how are you too young to begin to celebrate this? He knows. Didn't you know at 11 that you like pussy if you're a dude? And didn't you know at 11 if you're a straight woman that you like dick? Maybe not on a sexual level where but you knew you were attracted to women, or you knew you were attracted to men. You started to have crushes by this age. You were having your first real puppy love boyfriend or girlfriend by this age. Having your first kiss, your first handholds, starting to count your bases, whether you made it the first, second, or third at this age. So I just find it interesting where people have this difficult time approaching sexuality when it comes to same-sex sexuality, and then they want to put this time stamp on it of like 18 or 16 or, you know, be 17 years old before you start to say, how are you going to put a time stamp on something that when you look at it from a hetero perspective, you don't see that same mentality towards? I know it may be challenging with this being one of the first generations that we're really being exposed to things like this in the forefront. And it's really being forced in your face to challenge the way you think. But whenever you are, as a hetero person or a heteronormative person who thinks in a heteronormative fashion, whenever you are trying to understand how to view a homosexual, bisexual counterpart, simply put it up against the closest comparison to your heteronormative ideology and ask yourself the same question. If your 11-year-old son came home and said he had a crush on a girl, are you going to question his sexuality? That he may be too young to know that he likes girls? Or is that going to be taken pretty straightforward? No, it's going to be okay. He got a little girl, or his little friend. Okay, I see your little friend. You like her. So then why would you have an issue or a difficulty thinking that about the opposite? If an 11-year-old boy grows up in a world where heterosexuality is the norm, it's the easier route, what would possess him to call himself homosexual or bisexual at that age unless he was sure? I think we're far enough in understanding in the world in 2019 to be past the phase conversation. This is a phase. You'll grow out of this. It's a phase. That doesn't happen. There is no phase. It is or it isn't. Sexuality is not something that is manipulated by life experience. You're born one way or the other. Your awareness may come later, but it didn't just pop out the sky. It's not because someone was touched. None of those things have anything to do with how your sexuality develops. Okay? Now, being touched, because this is a topic that comes up way too often, being touched may awaken your awareness of yourself sexually, but it will not dictate what your sexuality becomes. There are tons of men who can tell stories of being touched by a man that are not in any way, shape, or form interested in being with men as adults. There are tons of men that have been touched by women that are still not interested in women in any way, shape, or form. There are tons of women who have been touched by women that are not interested in women. And it goes on and so forth. So that is to say that is not a direct correlation between your sexuality. It may be a direct correlation between your sexual awakening, your awareness of yourself sexually, your carnal desire, but it is not going to change what you like. Period. I see things in the comments that are like, how are they deciding this, celebrating this early? He ain't even been put in front of no pussy. Young man, come here real quick. Let me ask you something, straight brother. Can I put my dick in your face? Straight man, can I, real quick, just put it in your face real quick? Can I put my dick in your face? No, I can't put my dick in your face. Why not? You of age, my nigga. How you know you don't like my dick in your face yet? You gotta let me put my dick in your face first, right? So you could be sure you don't like my dick in your face. Oh no, you don't need my dick in your face to know that you don't want my dick in your face? Huh. Interesting. Cause you already know you ain't never had a thought about my dick being in your face. You ain't comfortable with my dick in your face. Okay. All right, my brother. Now I'm just using what you said to me back at you. You sure? Cause I can put my dick in your face. It's nice. That ain't gonna change nothing? Okay, well, I guess you don't need for me to put a dick in your face to know that you don't like a dick in your face. You kind of decided that way before you started putting pussies or dicks near your face. You just kind of knew which one you wanted to be near your face, right? Okay. The same applies, folks. You don't gotta put a pussy in a nigga face for him to know whether he like pussy or not. Now let me tell you something. First of all, I am from a whole different generation. I'm 28 years old. When I was coming up, the internet that we had was dial-up, my nigga. They had to bring a disc in the mail to my house. I had to block the motherfucking telephone connection just to get on the internet. And by the time I got on that bitch, it took me 15 minutes to download a pornographic picture just to stare at it. Okay? Now with the limited resources of porn and sex and things that I could see, I knew the things that I liked. I knew exactly what I was liking. If I didn't like something, and if I did, now I happen to like a lot of things because I'm bisexual. So I was looking over here and over here and I was saying, I don't think I like all of this right here. Yeah. I seen straight porn first. I definitely knew I liked that. Might have been wandering eyes at a couple different things in the scene. And then I seen gay porn and I said, my God, I like this. I I like this right here. This is, yeah, I like all of that. Give me all of them. Put them all together. I'm gonna take all of that. Now somebody else done seen some shit and said, oh, what the hell is that? Turn that shit off. And somebody else done said, oh, what is that? Leave that shit on. Now the bottom line comes to the point that we are exposed to things. You see a man kiss a man. You see a woman kiss a woman. You see a man kiss a woman. You see a sex scene in the movie. You see porn itself. These are all things leading up before you go putting dicks and pussies in your face that help you decide what are you interested in, what are you drawn to, attracted to, and what does nothing for you. So to question whether this young man knows what he likes when he is out here with a fucking unicorn thing, the little, on his head, leg propped up like this as he take his picture. He know what he like. He ain't confused. And his parents understand that. Ignoring that comment, because you're not going to take away from this segment here, Junior. Your inability to understand my sexuality does not take away from my sexuality, my brother. And I would appreciate it if you kept your ignorant opinion to yourself when you come on my intelligent lives. Thank you. Back on task. Now, his parents are very much aware that this young man knows what he likes, or else they would not be taking him to a pride event. They would not be taking him. He would not be sure he want to go. Now, if you look at them pictures, that young man looks very happy. He looks very much appreciative of the support that he has. And I look at that image and I say to myself, how beautiful it would have been if I could have had this as well. How dope. My nigga, who would I have been by 16? If at 11, I wasn't putting rubber bands around my wrists and popping myself every time I looked at a boy's butt. Who would I have been if I didn't spend my teenage years cutting my legs and my wrists to run from my self-hate because I was so angry with who I was that I wanted to inflict pain on me? Who would I have been if I learned to love myself deeply at such a young age? That got real deep for you real quick, right? Just wanted to show you some of the experiences that people go through when they're not given the space to accept themselves, when they don't know that other people will accept them. So when you see an 11-year-old who was already in his sexual development, because he's in puberty, when he's already there and he's told there's nothing wrong with you. In fact, there's beauty in who you are, to a point that we're not going to tolerate you. We won't just keep it quiet and try to keep it out of our face and pray you grow out of this. We will accept. There's a difference from tolerance and acceptance. We will accept you and celebrate who you are along with you, so that as you grow into who you're supposed to become, you can do so confidently. You can be sure of yourself. You won't take into account other people's ignorance about who you are, because your family base has already helped you identify just how perfectly created you are. If that's a challenging concept for you, it means you still should be reflecting on how you view same-sex individuals. It means you have not completely gotten it. You are not truly viewing them from a place of equivalence, because that equivalence will bring you to the same ideology that it would if they were straight. And my comparison, my closest possible comparison of how they were celebrating his homosexuality, the closest comparison I can make would be a school dance. Because what is a school dance if not a celebration of your heterosexual, interests? It is a celebration of the fact that at this age, you are into the opposite sex and y'all may like each other. This is an event for y'all to congregate and be amongst one another and safely, appropriately entertain your interests. Get your little slow dance and, oh, that's your little date. How did he pick a date? Because he liked a girl. So are you saying, oh no, they too young to be going to a school dance? Oh no, my son don't need no date to no school dance. He too young for him to be deciding all of that or focusing on all of that. No, he's not. You don't think that. You never thought that. You were excited. You talked about his little friend. You wanted to know what he was wearing to it. You want pictures so you can post on your Instagram for your friends to see how your son or daughter is growing up. Think the same way. Give that same space to an LGBT individual. He might not be as accepted at a school dance with his same-sex partner, and you probably would find so many issues with that, wouldn't you? Oh, you letting this 11-year-old boy go to a dance with another boy? You letting your 11-year-old son go to a dance with a girl? What is the difference? What is the timestamp on someone's identity when they become same-sex? There isn't one. So even though it may be challenging, because these are things that you're less familiar with, and a lot of them you're naturally uncomfortable with, I challenge you to always do a check and balance with something that comes to your experience as a heterosexual person before questioning it, writing it off, or especially, and here's the main one, come closer. Before you get on a public platform and you share your opinion about such things for your heterosexual counterparts to read and further feel like they're affirming their own beliefs that are archaic and undeveloped and unempathetic and not well thought out, I beg you, before you feel comfortable to speak on it, think on it. Step back, because this is going to be natural for you. You're going to see it. It's going to make you feel a little. Now, before you go to judging or talking, stop and say, all right, hold on. I know that I come from a world that's taught me things that I'm unlearning right now. I accept that. So, before I make a determination as far as how this makes me feel or what is right or wrong, let me sit back and reflect on my heterosexual experience and search as deep as I can for a comparison that is similar or parallel to what's happening here. Let me ask myself, is that wrong or inappropriate? And many of the times you'll find that the answer you come up with is no. It's not wrong or inappropriate. It simply makes you uncomfortable because it's new to you. You're not used to seeing 11-year-old boys dating 11-year-old boys. I get it. I'm not used to seeing it. Sometimes it goes, whoa, when I see two little 11-year-old boys in the middle school kissing each other. But do I jump the same way when I see 11-year-old boy and girl kiss each other? Not as much. I might be like, y'all need to keep all that, keep it, calm down, little ones. But I also know that when I was 11 years old, I had a big crush on a girl, and I was kissing her, and I knew she was my goddamn girlfriend. You wasn't going to tell me I wasn't in love. I was chasing Carrie little ass around for 3 years. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I chased this little girl around. So I get it. They got feelings. They experiencing things. They expressing things. They got the same emotional range you and I have, just not the same understanding, knowledge, and wisdom. Period. They're little adults at this point. Once they awaken, now they thinking about everything, maybe on a more juvenile level, but they're having the same thought processes that you and I have. The same way you desire connection, they desire connection. The same way that you get infatuated, they get infatuated. The same way you fall in love, they fall in love. And you're not going to tell that little child that they don't know what love is, because, baby, you are 35 years old and you still trying to figure out what love is. Some of these little kids got it more down packed than we do. It ain't gotten so contrived and confused yet. It might be puppy love. They might not understand all the things from a mature level that comes with love, but their expressions are real. So we have to be respectful and we have to be sensitive when we're speaking on such things. We can't just talk, especially when we're talking about our youth, because our youth see these things. Our youth read these comments and they are impressionable, much more impressionable than you or I. It is our job to be responsible with the things we say and the types of things that we project into the world that our youth are going to take on. It is important what conversations you're having around your child, whether you think they straight or not. You don't know. Leave behind the idea that you can see gay. You can't see it. Sorry. Leave behind the idea that you can see gay. That's not how that works. Okay? Now you don't know. And this is just to challenge you outside of your comfort zone. Because it can be easy when you feel it doesn't affect you to not think about it deeply. Or say, oh, okay, whatever. I don't know what they're talking about, but I still think what I think. Understand that you right now can be raising a masculine little gay boy who acts like all the other little boys, plays his sports, hangs with the boys, looks at girls. Some of them might actually be interested in girls. Some of them might be mimicking what they see in order to be safe and stay hidden. Or you might be raising a feminine little girl who was into doing her hair and dresses and the whole nine, and you think she likes boys and da-da-da-da-da-da. You don't know. Just because you can't see it does not mean that you're not dealing with a homosexual or bisexual child. Now, let's hypothetically say that is the case with the child that you're raising. Think about some of the things, the ideas about homosexuality or bisexuality that you feel. Think about some of the things you may have spoken around that child, thinking that you're speaking completely outside of everyone sitting at that table. Now, if that child knows who they are, senses who they are, and you have just spoken against them, have you not set your child back from accepting themselves? Have you not created the mentality for your child that you don't accept them? Whether you know it or not. They have already decided, my mom ain't gonna accept me. My mom ain't gonna like me. My mom is gonna think as strongly about me as the opinions she shares. And when things don't hit home, we tend to have the strongest motherfucking opinions, don't we? We can just speak so, oh, them faggots, child, I wish my son would be gay. I'll beat his fucking ass. Marvin Gaye. He like football. He D1 basketball. But Marvin Gaye. You get that, Marvin Gaye? Yeah, I'll be quick. Marvin Gaye. Now you present Marvin with two possibilities. Feel comfortable to tell who he is, or feel pressure to hide it. But either way, Marvin Gaye. So if Marvin feel pressure to hide it, Marvin just gonna hide. And then Marvin becomes the thing that you hate the most. The DL man. Oh, y'all hate the DL man. Oh, that shit get on my bitch. You never know who that. You better check your man's phone because he might be DL. Bitch, you making them. You are over there in a Build-A-Bear shop creating your own DL Marvin Gaye. Because you don't provide the space for Marvin to admit it. So now Marvin knows that the person that loves him most and he loves most and wants to make proud the most won't accept this. So in order for him to live a life where he keeps the things around him that matter most to him, he better hide. He better. His mom ain't for that gay shit. She ain't finna tolerate that. So then what? Marvin Gaye, but he got a girlfriend. Now he's bringing an innocent participant into his behavior, all stemming from the views that you placed in his head, correct? About who he was and shouldn't be. You ain't take him to the Pride event. You never got that far because you made sure he knew what you thought about it. That's a scare tactic, maybe. You want all your kids to know what you think about this, huh? As if that's going to change anything but the openness you have in your relationship. So now Marvin got a girlfriend. Because Marvin knows as long as he got a girlfriend, that's going to help hide things. He already masculine. He plays sports. He looking like the rest of the guys, but a girlfriend is key because all the other guys got a girlfriend. So now Marvin got his girlfriend. His girlfriend wants some dick. So Marvin focus on what he need to focus on to get that dick up. And he gives her that dick. Now Marvin got this girl pregnant, but Marvin gay. Marvin gay. But he got this girl pregnant. Now you all excited about your grandbaby. Oh, you're going to be a grandmother. Oh, dear God, sweet heaven. Now, Marvin is now a confused man, hiding his identity, unhappy in his own circumstance, bringing another life into the world. With a woman who has now been fooled by Marvin. And it all stems back to the fact that you made Marvin feel like something was wrong with him. So Marvin never felt comfortable to be honest about who he was. And Marvin's ability to hide behind his inherent masculinity made it even easier for him to stay hidden. Marvin then got a girlfriend to appease you and all those who thought like you because he believed that that was the right way to think. And now Marvin has brought this innocent girl into his foolishness, and this innocent girl now is the victim of another DL scenario. But you don't see where you were involved in this, huh, Ma? But you be the first one to have an issue with it, huh? You ever think about that? Marvin gay. You not gonna change whether Marvin gay or not. The only thing that you can control is what confusion you bring forth from the facts. The facts are your child is born into their sexuality. I know it's hard to accept. Y'all wanted to settle on people choosing. Ain't nobody choosing to be gay. Ain't nobody choosing to have to explain themselves over and over again to people who don't understand. Ain't nobody choosing to have to fight for the right to bring their boyfriend around their family, just like their sister can bring some trashy ass nigga that don't belong, and he still get to come over. But your gay son Hartley can bring around the best motherfucker better than anybody else's nigga. He got some sense, good job, manners, caring, responsible, but he can't bring this nigga around. You don't want to see no gay shit. Create equivalence that you may help kill the stigma you hate so much. You're responsible for it, heterosexual black people, moms, dads. Because guess what? Marvin gay. And you saying your opinion won't change whether or not Marvin gay. You saying your opinion will not suppress Marvin's actions to the point that he'll never act on his sexuality. Because bitch, how Marvin get here? You was fucking. Now somebody probably told you to wait till marriage to have sex. Did you? No. Why? Because your desire superseded what they said, correct? You think Marvin gay? His gay ass ain't gonna figure it out at some point? You think he not finna get curious? Not enough to go figure out something to do. You think Marvin going in them locker rooms with them boys and seeing them high asses and them hanging dicks ain't gonna have no effect? It ain't gonna seep in. Oh, Marvin gay. And he will go figure it out. The same way your nigga will go cheat to get what he want, Marvin gonna go get his. Believe that. Believe that. So now you can either create a scenario where you minimize the confusion in your own personal situation by allowing Marvin to be gay, accept who he is, and make decisions that protect all involved parties with that truth. Because if Marvin can be gay, and stop thinking that your child gonna come out the closet and turn into just a big old fairy. That ain't how it work. That ain't how it work. Accepting himself is not gonna change who he is at his core. Period. It ain't changed who I was at my core. That was everybody's fear. Now Marvin may come out and go through a little phase where he's feeling free and he want to try some things, but Marvin knows who Marvin is. Marvin knows what identity feels like Marvin. He gonna stay there, Mom, Dad. He gonna know himself, and with your support, he will stray so much less farther from who he is. Because he will still feel like he knows himself. He won't have to re-identify who he is outside of your own thinking because you still accept him. He can still come to you for the advice he needs about the world. He can still come to you when he needs to make good decisions in love and picking people and needs to know how these things with relationships go. You are his base. Make sure that you let Marvin just be gay. Because you think that's the worst thing that can happen. But there are so many worse things that can come out of this scenario if you force Marvin to run from the fact that he's gay. So if you start seeing that Marvin gay at 11, hey baby, come here. Let me ask you something, and there's no wrong answer. I love you. You like girls, you like boys. You got a girlfriend? You got a boyfriend? Don't ask it with one of them being the right answer and the wrong answer, Mom. You got a girlfriend or you got a boyfriend? Don't do that. Leave it neutral. Let Marvin feel like there ain't no wrong answer. He gonna tell you the truth eventually if you keep allowing him to feel comfortable. But if you make him feel like he's judged, if you make Marvin feel judged, you are literally putting him in the closet and shutting the door behind him. And then when he contributes to the DL epidemic, because he will. You know why he will, Mom? Because Marvin can hide. He ain't gotta say what he is. It ain't obvious. So in order to not lose his friends and all the other things that he thinks in his mind he'll lose, because his own very mother wouldn't accept that, so why would he think his friends ain't gonna leave him or turn their backs? You will be responsible for it. You. It starts with you at home, Mom. It starts with the way you think, with the way you preach, with the way you teach your children to see themselves and those around them. Don't you think you can teach these harsh ways of thinking and it'll never affect you because you West Indian, you Jamaican, you black. Well, that shit don't happen. Ain't no gay people coming out of my motherfucking household. You don't pick that. And for the ones with the strongest opinions, God has a way of giving you and gifting you with just what you need to change that opinion. It can come in the form of your child, your brother, your sister, your mother, your daddy that you find out later in life, your child, your nigga. But if it's your nigga, you are hurt, huh? You're hurt. You hate what he is. But that moment that you hated, ask yourself what you were creating yourself for someone that's a generation or two smaller than that man that you're hating on so much at that moment. Are you yourself creating a space for a man to be true to who he is? Or are you yourself perpetuating another generation of DL men? So to sum it all up, let that little boy go be celebrated and celebrate himself at 11 years old because he knows what he is, who he is, and that he can't change it. We can suppress this and dance around it and pretend it don't exist and not talk about it, or we can make sure we instill a confident individual who will make the best decisions possible for himself because he is secure in who he is and knows that he has the approval and the support of the people that created and are raising him to see himself a certain way. Your opinion of him matters more than anyone else's opinion in this world. It is your job, mom, dad, to show your children what love looks like, what acceptance looks like, unconditional love and acceptance, not tolerance, acceptance. We're too far along in time with knowledge accessible to us. So many stories now of different experiences for us to remain ignorant, for us to turn away from the knowledge and the facts that this is going to be here. You don't know whether you're going to have a straight child or a gay child. You cannot look at them and their mannerisms and determine that. You cannot see them make it to 11 and be like all the other little boys or all the other little girls and then feel like you're good. You don't know. So make sure that at home you are promoting a message of acceptance, so that at minimum, when it does potentially arise, you can take all the necessary steps to raise a productive, sufficient, and valuable, positive human being in the world. Not someone contrived, unsure of who they are, angry, with a bunch of secrets. Because you see, all the little boys that I know, grown men now, that parents don't know about them, but I do, they avoid you. They only come home when they have to. You know why? Because there's so much of who they are that they can't avoid, that they don't want you to find out. They don't want you to find out. So they gotta avoid. They gotta do whatever they can to keep it at bay. Now you wanna know why your son don't ever call you and just talk to you? Why he ain't open with you? What the fuck I'm gonna be open with you about? What you hate? How am I gonna feel comfortable around you when I'm hiding from you because you told me to? Just things to think about. Things to challenge. To Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union, and the entire Wade family, I tip my hat and round of applause for leading by example as a black family, a A-list black family that other black people can be influenced by. For allowing your 11-year-old child to be celebrated that young. For even whatever you must display at home for a child that is 11 to feel comfortable to say that he's gay. You're doing something very, very right at home. And many people can learn from you. I hope that somebody received something from this message or was challenged. As the old saying goes, my dad would say, it's not your job to force anybody to see anything, but you, my son, can plant the seed. It'll be nurtured, it'll be watered, and eventually something will sprout. It's your friend King David. Have a blessed, positive, productive, and last but certainly not least, encouraged evening. Deuces. We'll be talking soon.